Hello everyone, I hope you're feeling well, and you might wonder why I do this one in English. Well, a lot of people ask me to do some of my content in English, and since I'm on vacation, since I'm really desperately looking for my vacation wine in 2011, I've been looking in the Rias Baixas. I struggled with Terras Gauda Alvarinho, which is was quite a boring wine, I have to say. Quite flabby, missing out really the freshness, what I expected. Another disappointing wine was from the one and only Peter Zizek, which I normally adore very much. It's a PSI 2008 Ribera del Duero. But since I am doing a vacation here in the Vinho Verde district, this is maybe my vacation wine in 2011. So I have two producers here. Well, first of all, before we start with the Vinho Verde, it refers not necessarily to the color of the wine, it refers more to the freshness of the wine. And of course, like if you look around here, well, you cannot see it, but for me this is like green, it's almost like back in Germany. So we have quite a similar vegetation. We do have the mountains on one side, we're in the north of Portugal. On the other side we do have the Atlantic Ocean, which is quite cold here. It's much too cold to go into the water. And the region really stretches from the north of Porto, the Douro Valley, north of the Douro Valley to the border of Spain is the Rio Minho, which is quite a big river, and we do have quite a lot of styles of Vinho Verde. Vinho Verde mainly is known as a, let's say, semi-sweet with a CO2 bubbles, a wine which is quite light or low in alcohol, reminiscent a little bit maybe to German Moselle Rieslings, which is, let's say, the wines do have a little spritz, they do have this freshness. Sometimes I think they can be quite boring, especially when the sweetness is too much in it. We do have grape varieties as Trajadura, Loureiro, and now we're going to the one and only grape variety, which I think is maybe the most precious one, well, the most exciting one is the Alvarinho, which is maybe a little bit reminiscent to the Riesling. So I do have two producers here, two wines. Well, let's start with this one. This is one from Monção and Melgaço. Monção is right on the river Minho, and this producer is Anselmo Mendes. He's also Muros Antigos 2009. Anselmo Mendes is known as Mr. Alvarinho, and he produces, I think, a very beautiful wine which is light and fresh and clean and crisp. So we do have a quite pale color here, slightly strong. I cannot see, normally what you have sometimes in the Vinho Verde is the CO2, but for these wines they have a higher alcohol, 13%, and as they are right bordering the river, basically they do benefit from that climatic influence. Another one is the soil, is granitic soil. The north of Portugal is granitic, so we're basically in the Rias Baixas, where they call the Alvarinho. And now we start with this one. So this is lovely. This is a peach flavor, a blossom flavor, apples, there is lemon, there's lime, there's zesty flavors. It's really fine. It really reminds me of a good German Riesling. Not necessarily Moselle style, more like a Rheingau or even now Rheinhessen, which is, I think, a very interesting part in Germany to look for really good Rieslings. And you really get that minerality in the wine. There's a good mouthfeel to it. A lot of freshness, a lot of acidity bouncing in, gives it a length which is remarkable. I think this is really a producer to watch for. This is a 09, so these wines can age very well, and you can drink them either young or 3 or 4 years old. So I think this is really where this wine goes very, very well. I just go and get myself a glass. I cannot spill this wine. This is too nice. And another thing here, which is the local food, is called Pimientos Padron, which is pimients, which can really make very easily at home. You can buy many supermarkets, maybe not at that quality. This is how they look when you fry them. You just stir fry them in olive oil with a little garlic, and you put a dash of sea salt in it, and that's it. And let's say if you really like gambling, 1 out of 20 or 25 that is quite spicy and hot. And so some people are aware of that, and some let's say they are afraid of it, and some people really think it's the thrill of eating it. They're really wonderful. They're nice and sweet. So coming to the next wine, which is a wine Sualero. It's a Vinho Verde too, like from the same region. It's in this case 2010, the wine called Primeras Viñas. Primeras Viñas means the first wines, which was planted in 1974. So we do have old wines here. Antonio Cerdera and Dirk Nieport, which a lot of people might know, are responsible for this wine. And to me, this is a wine which I think can really show what Alvarinho can do. And I think also in Spain they have to watch with their very expensive Rias Baixas that the Portuguese don't steal the show. Also this wine is, quite pale in color, saturated color. Here I do have some very slightly bubbles of CO2. Hey, and this wine is a blast. I have to tell you, this is really pure minerality. Stony, this is just lime as quince. Again, blossomy, and the length is remarkable. Really, it really is in the back of my palate. It leaves a lingering finish, and yes, I think this wine is at the moment maybe a little too young. It easily should age for another 3 or 4 years, but I mean, maybe best to drink in another 1 or 2. And this is probably the best what they can do at the moment here. This is probably one of the best wines. While the Muros Antiguos, I find it's really what I think it's a classic wine. What Alvarinho can do, just to please the palate, if you like, and if you go a little bit more, let's say for the brainy wines, this is the one. This is the show. This is rocking, man. I'd say. And here I do get again that kind of minerality which I find sometimes in German Rieslings. And well, hope you're enjoying your summer vacation. I finally found now my 2 wines which I think are great. Price points for this are €10. This is like €15, so it's a little high. On the other hand, I think you have to look for wines in this price category with this quality. You really have to look in other regions, and it's hard to find them. So they're worth the price, worth the money. Hope you have a great vacation, and I hope you like the one in English. Bye.